I want to talk about marriage in this video. Let's say that you're dating someone and you're thinking about getting married. Here's the question that I want you to answer. The question is, what is the number one reason to get married? In this video, I'm going to answer that question. Hello everyone, Rick Thomas here. We're helping people live effective lives. The other night at dinner time, we had this discussion. I had this discussion with our children and we were interacting, and I brought these glasses together and I began to illustrate this idea of getting married. And the question that I posed to them, what is the best reason to get married? And so we talked through it, and so I want to share those ideas with you. And so this is what one flesh means. It's two people coming together as one flesh. But when a dating couple, when they meet, there is a desire to be part of a community. And of course, the reason for that is that we are made by a community. The Father, Son, and Spirit created us. And so part of what it means to be made in the image of God is this desire to be in community. As God said in Genesis 2:18, it's not good for the man to be alone. And there are different ways to create community, and one of those ways is in marriage. And so the ideal reason to get married, or at least the number one reason, in addition to all of your other ones, is that I want to get married and because I can take all of my strengths and all of my weaknesses and I can pour it in here, and then she can take all her strengths and all her weaknesses and pour it in there. And we believe that as a one flesh unit, that we can amplify or magnify the name of God more effectively than when we were living as a single couple, that we could not amplify the name of God in our spheres of influence as effectively as we could if we were living together as a one flesh married unit. That is the number one reason to get married. But what happens so often in a marriage, rather than thinking about this complete unit here, this one flesh union, what people do too often is that it's not about that, it's about what the other person does for me. And so it's like, will you encourage me? Will you watch a movie with me tonight? Will you go on a date with me? Will you, and then the other person is, will you do this for me? And will you stop doing that because it bothers me and I want you to do it this way? And what happens too often in relationships is that it's more about mutual need meeting. Will you meet my needs and you meet my needs? And it just goes back and forth. Now, after a while, that can really grow weary on the couple of this mutual need meeting. And let's say in this illustration that this person is just feeling just a little bit depleted because they can't always meet the expectations the way this person wanted it. And so then enters another person here. And so instead of being one flesh, now we have this person here, and they're tired of pouring in, and so they're looking at this individual. Will you encourage me? Will you make me feel better? I like being around you. And so now we have this kind of dynamic going on. And of course, this is called adultery, and this is an awful way to think about marriage. But it started in the dating relationship by thinking this way, rather than, hey, it's not so much about what you do for me per se, though I enjoy those things, but what it's really about is us pouring ourselves into this one flesh relationship. There's a little extra here, so we'll put them back over here and move him back out of the picture. And so now this is really what it's about. Not so much about mutual need meeting, but yeah, we want to encourage each other. We want to love each other. We want to be kind to each other. Those things are all important, and you must do those things. But it's not primarily about what I get out of the relationship. It's what I can pour in the relationship. And so there's a direction here. What can you do for me, or what can we do to magnify the name of God? And so as you think about marriage, maybe if you're dating and you're thinking about marriage, you need to think about this concept, because it can't always be about how this person is making me feel, because what's going to happen in marriage eventually is this person's not going to be perfect all the time. They're not always going to be meeting your expectations. And if it's about mutual need meeting, when they're having a bad day and when things aren't going so swell, well, you can really start attacking each other because you really don't have this as your primary view. And then when you're weak like that and susceptible to temptation, when this person comes in and they start meeting that preference or desire the way that you want, well, then you're going to destroy the marriage. And so this is the reason to get married: strengths and weaknesses poured into one container, an imperfect one flesh union that is amplifying the name of God. If you want to talk more about marriage, you're welcome to come to our free community forums. We'd love to chat with you. You can get on, you can ask your questions, and if we can serve you, we'd like to do that. I also have a link in the video description of this video, and you can click on our marriage articles if you wish, and you can read a lot of content on our website about marriage. And then finally, if you like this video, if you just hit the subscribe button, please subscribe, and that will help us to reach more people. Thank you so much for watching the video.